Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rolo Gaming channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how and where to settle in Civilization 6. So you won't need any DLC or anything like that. This is like a general guide on how to place your cities. I will note what the differences will be if you do end up getting those DLCs. So let's go ahead and get started. We're just gonna go ahead and play just like a random game with any civilizations, because you can settle a city with any civilization. Maybe it'll be a little bit different depending on which civilization, but generally it's the same. Okay, we got a pretty good area. The best way to figure out where to settle your city is by pressing 4 or by going to the settler lens. The best places is usually to settle on rivers, because later on you can also get a research. Later on, if you get wheel, you get the water mill, and that really helps out early cities with providing more food and more production. You can also see what's going on around you. There's some stone over here, marble, stone, deer, and horses. There's also some crabs over here. This is a pretty good spot to actually settle your city. Settling your city on the coast usually isn't that great of an idea because of the fact that, you want as much as access to land, because there's a ton of yields when it comes to those tiles, and you have more area to place down actual districts and other things later on. You also want to make sure that you're exploring. Make sure you're looking out for rivers, because those are usually great to settle on. Now that we've done some exploring, we can go ahead and see that with number 4 on the settler lens, we can see that there's a couple more options for us to put down our city. This area that's slightly a darker green means that there's fresh water, meaning there's more area, more housing for us when we want to grow our cities. When we put down a city, it always creates 2 food and 1 production. So going for something like this would be great, because it would actually add a production. Going for this wouldn't add anything there. You should also take note of map tax. You can add a tack by placing it here. Just making note of where is a good place to put down a city. You also want to make sure that your next cities are really close to your original city, around 5 to 6 tiles away. But if there's something that's really good and is further away, that's okay. If you end up getting the Rise and Fall Civilization DLC, you want to make sure that your cities are really close to yours. And you don't want to make sure that you're not settling cities too close to other civilizations. While you're playing the game, make sure you're always looking for nice places to put down your cities. See, if we put down this city over here, we might lose out on putting a city over here. So we could modify this and put it over here instead. And having a city over here would also be a good idea. Cities near lakes will also give more housing, as it includes fresh water, but having it be on a river is way better, because later on, again, when you get wheel, it'll really help that out. Getting out as many cities as you can while being safe in the early game is key in order to snowball later on in the game. Alright, so when you get your second settler out, when you click on them, they're able to see in the settler map mode. You should always protect them by having a warrior escort them, or having a land unit escort them. The game will also give you recommendations on where to put cities, but sometimes they're not that great. As you can see, this is a good city, as it's only a couple tiles away, 4 tiles away. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. This city location might be a little far away, but it's okay. It's only 6 cities away from one of your other cities. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason why you always want to escort your settlers is because sometimes you'll come across barbarians, and that can be kind of risky. And look at that, we found another good city location. It's always good to take note of these. You want to be careful of other civilizations. Okay, let's go ahead and put down our next city. As you can see, there's a barbarian here. If we had left our settler alone, they probably would have been taken. You also want to make sure that you look out for luxury resources, as choosing to settle near luxury resources is going to be very important too. You can also get the early Empire Civic, which helps you get settlers 50% faster. We'll go ahead and add that to our civics. Alright, we just completed wheel. Now all these cities that we have, when we make them have a watermelon, they're gonna grow a lot quicker. Alright, looks like there's another luxury resource near this location right here, which hasn't been settled yet. So we can go ahead and take that location for ourselves. We also need to be careful as there's a barbarian camp right here. But look at all that iron. That's definitely gonna help us in the game. Both in Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm, it's good to keep your cities close to each other, as that way they won't have nearly as much loyalty problems. Since you have so many cities and the population is going to be growing fast, make sure that you're getting those luxury resources as you're really going to need them. If you've got a city really close to other cities that belong to other civilizations, it might be nice to get some ancient walls going, as that's really going to help you defend. Remember that you can only have one unique luxury resource that will actually go towards your amenities, so make sure that you're getting unique luxury resources. Like going for the city over here, it's gonna give us some salt, and that'll be another luxury resource. We could later on go for a city right here, which would give us some mercury, which is another luxury resource. Just so you know, you can move your settlers without having a warrior accompany them. Just be careful. Make sure you keep an eye of the military strength of the civilizations near you, as if they see that you're lacking in strength, they might go ahead and try to declare war on you. Okay, with 6 cities so far, I guess I will leave it off there. You guys pretty much get the gist. Keep your cities close to each other, 5 to 6 tiles away. But you know, if you need to get like a luxury resource, you know, you can be a little bit more flexible with that. You also want to make sure that your military strength is high compared to your neighbors, as they might go ahead and try to declare war with you. Getting out as many cities as possible in the early game without, you know, having too much trouble is the best thing you can possibly do, because it'll help you with your production. You can spit out units a lot faster than enemies and just help you out in the later game in general. Alright, so that's everything from me, guys. If there was anything I didn't cover here, make sure you ask. One last thing to note is that, you know, you want to keep an eye on strategic resources, any kind of luxury resources, and if you really need those resources, don't be afraid to, you know, forward settle another country. But just make sure you're doing it with the risk of them going to war with you or being angry at you. If you settle a city too close to another civilization, they will get kind of angry at you, because currently Egypt is denouncing me because I currently have a bunch of cities near them. The Congo aren't also that pleased with me having cities near them. Once I get this city and maybe even more cities, they're gonna probably get really mad at me. But it's honestly much easier to defend a city versus putting down a city. So make sure you're taking advantage of the early game and getting out as much cities as you can. And as you're getting more cities, make sure you're looking out for luxury resources, as you're probably gonna have amenity problems. Having cities near a lot of land is really gonna help out in letting you be able to put down more districts and wonders. And once you're not able to expand through settling, you can then take your time to actually go forward with taking out other cities or going for your victory of choice. Since I put down so many cities, my science is booming. If you have the Gathering Storm DLC, rivers might end up flooding, but honestly it's nothing to worry about compared to volcanoes or other things like that. Getting cities near rivers is probably the best thing you can do, because even floods, they're gonna help those tiles grow in terms of food. You can also eventually end up getting a dam, which will help out your country even more. Alright, that's everything from me, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment whatever you guys would like to see next. Bye bye. Bye bye.